Hello, goal getters. Welcome to our channel, Top 10s You Should Know. Ever feel that stab of jealousy when someone lands a promotion, relationship, or creative win you've been chasing? What if I told you jealousy isn't weakness? It's a hidden motivator. Today, we're unlocking top 15 ways to turn jealousy into motivation. From ancient wisdom to Nobel Prize winning hacks, these tips will make you say, I used to spiral, now I rise. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, and let's turn green-eyed monsters into growth fuel. Oh, and don't miss number 9. It's tied to Nobel Prize-winning research on stress and success. Let's dive in. 1. Reframe jealousy. It's not envy, it's clarity. Let's start with the biggest mindset shift. Jealousy isn't your enemy, it's a signal. A Stanford study found people who reframe jealousy as motivation bounced back 50% faster. Here's my ritual. I used to beat myself up for feeling jealous. Now I ask, what's this telling me? One viewer wrote, I felt jealous of my sister's career, so I started my own path. Another said, I envied my friend's confidence. Now I'm building mine. Science snack. Jealousy lights up the brain's reward center. It's a clue, not a curse. Pro tip, write down what triggers jealousy. Then ask, how can I grow from this? 2. Focus on your own journey. Comparison is a trap. Raise your hand if you've ever doom-scrolled through someone's highlight reel and felt like a failure. A Harvard Business Review study found 80% of envy comes from comparison. And it's a trap. Here's where it gets real. I used to spiral over a coworker's promotion until I asked, what's my timeline? Result? I stopped checking their posts and started crushing my goals. One viewer raved, I unfollowed a friend and now I breathe easier. Science snack. Social media rewires your brain to expect perfection, not progress. Pro tip, replace why not me with what's one step today. 3. Practice gratitude. Rewire your brain. Grateful people aren't just nicer, they're more resilient. A University of California study found writing 3 things you're thankful for daily rewires neural pathways to focus on strength, not weakness. Here's my ritual. Every morning, I scribble cozy socks, fresh coffee, or my dog's slobbery kisses. Small wins matter. One viewer wrote, gratitude journaling turned my jealousy into armor. Science snack. Gratitude lights up the brain's reward center, like a natural antidepressant. Pro tip, use a gratitude jar for kids or teams. 4. Set micro goals. Break big wins into bite-sized steps. Jealousy often hits when goals feel out of reach. Break them into micro goals. A University of Michigan experiment found people who divided tasks into 5-minute chunks finished 70% faster. Here's my hack. Instead of be as successful as her, I do write 100 words daily and reach out to one mentor. One viewer wrote, I paid off debt by tackling $50 at a time. Science snack. Small wins trigger dopamine hits. Your brain's reward system loves them. Pro tip, use the 5-second rule. Count down and start the first micro task. 5. Celebrate others' wins. Kill jealousy with kindness. Ever notice how celebrating others kills jealousy? A Psychology Today experiment found people who genuinely praised others felt 40% less resentment. Here's my ritual. I send a voice note to friends who crush it. One viewer wrote, I congratulated my rival, and now we collaborate. Another said, I celebrated my coworker's win and got promoted next. Science snack. Dopamine spikes from celebration fuel long-term confidence. Pro tip, send a text, kudos on X, I'm cheering you on. 6. Ask, what would I do if I weren't jealous? Reclaim power. Jealousy freezes action. A University of Chicago experiment found asking, what would I do if I weren't jealous, boosted clarity by 60%. Here's where it gets real. I used to hesitate applying for jobs because of envy. Now I ask, what would I do if I believed in myself? Result? I applied for my dream role and got it. One viewer wrote, I asked this and quit my dead-end job. Science snack. This question bypasses fear and activates problem-solving mode. Pro tip, pair with journaling. Write down the answer and act on it. 7. Build a support network. Rise together. Success isn't a solo mission. A Harvard T.H. Chan School report found people with strong support systems were 3x more likely to turn jealousy into fuel. Here's my ritual. I scheduled weekly check-ins with a mentor. Result? My confidence soared. One viewer wrote, I shared my jealousy and landed my first client. Another said, I told my sister I was struggling and she helped me reapply. Science snack. Social support reduces cortisol by 25%, stress's secret killer. Pro tip, join online communities or local meetups. 8. Use jealousy as fuel. The "I'll show them" mindset. Jealousy isn't weakness, it's fire. A Forbes survey found 70% of high achievers used envy as motivation. Here's my ritual. I used to hate a colleague's success. Now I ask, how can I match this? One viewer wrote, I envied my friend's business, now I run my own. Science snack. Jealousy activates the amygdala, your brain's "I want that" alert. Pro tip, turn envy into action. They did it. I'll do it too. 9. Cold exposure. The Nobel hack for alertness. Okay, this one sounds wild, but hear me out. Nobel Prize-winning research on cold adaptation found short bursts of cold, like a 30-second splash, boost brown fat, which sharpens focus and silences emotional noise. When I had a big decision, I did a cold plunge. Result? My mind snapped into gear. One viewer wrote, I cold dipped before applying to grad school and crushed it. Science snack. Cold exposure activates norepinephrine, a hormone that zaps mental fog. Pro tip, start small. Splash wrists or take brisk walks. 10. Journaling. Unload your mental trash. Ever wake up with a mind cluttered like a junk drawer? Journaling is your mental Marie Kondo. A Journal of Experimental Psychology study found people who wrote about worries for 10 minutes before bed fell asleep 40% faster and woke up calmer. Here's my ritual. Every morning, I jot down 3 things stressing me and 1 action step. One viewer wrote, I used to panic about my to-do list. Now I dump it on paper and actually enjoy my day. Science snack. Writing makes abstract fears tangible, so your brain stops ruminating. Pro tip, try gratitude journaling. Rewire neural pathways to focus on hope. 11. Speak clearly. Own your voice. Confident people don't mumble. They own their voice. A Stanford study found clear, moderate-paced speech increased perceived competence by 50%. My mistake. I'd rush words to sound smart. Then I tried the 3-second rule. Pause before speaking. Result? Listeners leaned in instead of zoning out. Science snack. Slow speech gives your brain time to organize thoughts. Pro tip, record yourself reading aloud. Listen for clarity. 12. Create a vision board. Make jealousy your GPS. Jealousy often shows you what you truly want. A sports medicine study found athletes who visualize success perform 30% better. Here's my ritual. I used to feel jealous of influencers. Now I pin their style to my vision board and ask, what's one step toward this? One viewer wrote, I built a board and now I'm thriving in my dream home. Science snack. Visualization primes your brain to act decisively. Pro tip, add sensory details. Smell, sounds, even your heartbeat. 13. Stop seeking approval. You're already enough. Ever adjust your behavior to please someone who never notices? Big mistake. A Harvard Business Review case study found people who stopped seeking approval gained 50% more respect. Here's my ritual. I remind myself, I don't need their stamp. I've already got mine. One viewer raved, I stopped sharing ideas with my jealous friend, and now I'm thriving. Science snack. Seeking approval rewires your brain to fear rejection. Stop feeding it. Pro tip, celebrate wins internally. I crushed this, with or without their praise. 14. Use the yet mindset. Reframe your limits. Here's the secret you've got to hear. Jealousy isn't final, it's temporary. A Journal of Aging studies tracked 100-plus-year-olds who used phrases like, I haven't reached that yet. This mindset reduces chronic frustration and speeds recovery. My ritual. I used to say, I'll never be as good as her. Now I say, I haven't mastered it yet. One viewer wrote, I stopped saying I'm bad at this, and now I'm thriving. Science snack. The word yet rewires your brain to expect growth. Pro tip, reframe failures with yet. I haven't learned Spanish yet. 15. Reflect weekly. Spot patterns and protect yourself. Last but not least, weekly reflection. A McKinsey report found leaders who reflect weekly are 3x more productive. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Here's my ritual. Every Friday I ask, what worked? What didn't? What's one tweak for next week? One viewer wrote, I realized my jealousy came from insecurity and fixed it. Science snack. Reflection triggers neuroplasticity. Your brain rewires itself with each lesson. Pro tip, celebrate wins, no matter how small. Which habit hit home? Was it the vision board, the yet mindset, or maybe the reframe of jealousy as fuel? I love hearing your stories. Drop them below. Smash that subscribe button if you're ready to own your worth, and tap the bell so you never miss a tip. Until next time, remember, jealousy isn't weakness, it's a signal to dig deeper.